Greetings and salutations. Hello, hello, friends. Welcome to the Zeppoverse. DJ Zed on the digital robot rock dance music for your entertainment pleasure. Season's greetings. Please stand by. Hello and namaste, friends and interweb video game livestream followers. I am your host, the Incorrigible Mr Zeppo. It is Monday, December 26th, 2:22 p.m. at the sound of the ping. In just a few seconds, I called it a little early. Welcome to the show, folks. Greetings and namaste. Hello, friends. Salutations to you. Thank you for being here, friends. I hope, in the sincerest of all sincere hopes, that you had a groovy Christmas. Genuinely, from my heart to yours. Ho, 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 jingle bells, and a groovy night to all. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, the Incorrigible Mr Zeppo. I'm going to take these out. Oh, it's going to get tangled in my hair. Okay. Grow your hair out, they said. It'll be fun, they said. You'll really like it, they said. Grow your beard out too, they said. Anyways, friends, hello and welcome and greetings to you. It's that day after the holiday. And pursuant to some sage internet video, YouTube specific, but also just general advice I was given by a social media acquaintance. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong screen. Let me, did I want to do this one? No. As you can see, friends, we've got the game lined up. We're ready to go. We're going to play a little. We haven't streamed in a hot minute. I wanted to take a holiday sciatica a holiday. I took a holiday hiatus. And now I'm back, friends. And, well, at least we're coming back. But as I was saying, pursuant to some sage advice I was recently given for free from a social media acquaintance, they said, mix in some short form videos with all those really long videos, and then, if it's stream specific, go longer. Anyways, this will be a nice little short mini episode. I wanted to pause and take a moment and say hello to you. And thank you for viewing my humble little videos. And thank you for being a member of the video game enthusiast community. Whether you watch because of this game or that game, Call of Duty, or Call of Duty that, or Call of Duty this, or one of the other ones like Red Dead Redemption, the Far Cry series, blah, 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 blah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking it out. And I wanted to just sort of send out a genuine season's glad tidings to you all, in the sense that in respecting the multitude of holidays, as many the funny meme points out, many holidays are celebrated. So I mean no disrespect when I say happy holidays to people, because I want to respect everybody's holidays. And for myself, and I hope that others might share this feeling, take a moment to reflect on the broad, big picture, zoomed out scale picture kind of takeaway messages that you can get from any and all of the holidays, independent of whether you're a member of a particular community or not. And that generally tends to be the kindling of the human spirit and the hanging on to hope, and the sharing of peace and goodwill and amnesty and glad tidings and family, and the universal human bond that we all share, that ultimately in the end we yearn for celebrations of the hearth and home, and of the being togetherness, and of the different, whichever ways and means and forms and styles of celebration that we were raised in or that we adopted, etc. We all have that in common. And even if that includes not celebrating, because I've worn that hat, I've been that person, I'm choosing not to do any of it. I'm choosing not to celebrate any of it. I'm choosing not to believe in any of it, whatever. And I include that in the warm, fuzzy sending out of vibes, because even in that, do that exercise, wear that hat for a minute or two, but tap into the inner vibe, right? Because if there's anything about any of it, it's about how in the end of the year cycle, for whatever reasons, the human animal has long traditionally bundled up, huddled together, shared meals, dealt with family blessings and family strife, etc., and tried to grow, tried to rest, and tried to heal, and tried to forgive, and try to let go of the past, and try not to fear the future, and try to live in the present, right? Many a heartwarming thing can be said, both inside of any given cultural, religious tradition and or independent. You can draw from many universal things. But one of the glad tiding sort of, oh, what a sweet moment sort of memento memes that I've seen on and off again throughout the last couple of years is one that says something along, and I wish I had it right in front of me, because it was like, oh, it's in there. But something along, and there's probably a couple of different versions of this, so you'll forgive me if it sort of misses pinging the bell very dead on, but if you as long as you get the vibe I'm sending is what matters. This is one of those instances of the thought counts more than the butchering of the remembering of the exact quote right now. So bear with me. But there's a meme that says, and I think it's about gathering over the holidays. At least it was presented in that context. And maybe the original meme is free of that. But it says something about like, and remember that the greatest gift is being as present and as mindful and as joyful and as here's where my brain is like, I don't remember the words, but there was like 3 really thoughtful, cool, mindful things, with the people that you're sharing time with. If I had to put it in my own sentence, like, and if there's, above the food and the singing and the traditions and the gift giving and the greatest gift is to be present in a moment with those around you, and with those that, you made an effort to visit, those who, and also those who couldn't, right? Especially in these times, in these digital era of post, the years that shall not be named. I'm trying to start that. That's my meme. From now on, we shall reference the last, and I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years as the years that shall not be named. With some sort of wizardly voice. Imagine me in like a wizard outfit with a gnarly staff. And, some sidekick character that says, and what about during the dark? And the wizard like slaps his staff down and says, those are the years that shall not be named. What am I don't know. Off on a tangent. If there's anything we learned is that digitally, via video, remotely, to the family that can't be there, to the families that you maybe haven't reached out to in a while, to the family that and this one's one of those little hard pill to swallow, but the family that maybe you forget, and friends, right, that you forget or you haven't thought of in a hot minute, reach out and take the time to try and be present and be real, and to throw in a dash of an ingredient of a Thanksgiving meme that's one of my favorite memes. Practicing gratitude every day is the practice or the calling, right? And it's easy to forget, and it's easy to neglect, and it's easy to miss it, and it's easy to say, oh, we'll do it tomorrow, or we just did it last week. And we're all, perfectly imperfect, often sometimes flawed human individuals. So trust me, I know what it's like to miss the mark on that, or to have utter failure about it. But you dust yourself off, you pick yourself up, or maybe you pick yourself up first, and then you dust yourself off. I don't know. But you put on some music, you get up and dance, and you shake off all the negative vibes. I don't know. And you do your traditions, right? You try and go to the dinners, and you try to, you give the hugs, and you try to really mean them this time when you're there in the moment. We are in the midst of the middle of the holidays. We've got, a little bit of a ways to go. We've got the big New Year's Eve. If you can be with people that and the the weather or other circumstances aren't preventing you, be sure to take a moment, friends. Take a moment, look people right in the eye, and just say thank you. And spread it around. That stuff is free, man. Even if you don't know the people, next time you're in line, checking out of a grocery store, the drugstore, the blah blah blah, it doesn't kill you to say like, hey, thanks for being here, working during the holidays. Extra little bit of blessings. So whatever you're free, if you're gonna go with Christmas, go with Christmas. If you got your own special holiday and you want to sprinkle that magic around a little bit, be like, hey, respecting, you could say all kinds of things, right? Not to be a preacher or nothing, Although my mom used to tell me, son, you could be a lawyer or a preacher. Or maybe both. She said I had the aptitude, the language skills, and the charisma. But I digress. Like that hot sauce hybrid meme, that shit is free. Or no. How does it go? It don't cost nothing to be nice, so sprinkle that shit everywhere. It's based on a hot sauce commercial. This hot sauce is so good, I sprinkle that shit on everything. But I digress. You know, thank the cashiers for working, especially. And I try to do this. I forget some years, and some years I overdo it. But yeah, you know, as an old timer, if you're watching this live stream, let me tell you something. Spread a little love on the holidays, but you can do it all year long. Just thank the people that be helping you for doing what they're doing, and don't be half-ass absent-minded about it. Take a moment, take a breath, take a beat and look someone right in the eye and be like, hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for being on the job. Appreciate you. I mean, and ironically, not ironically, thank you for your service. It really works. Really put a, you know, you never know when you're gonna pick up someone's day, and just a little bit of vibiness in it, you can believe in whichever out of the lexicon of deities from which you may believeth in. Spread the joy anyways, right? Or not. Oh, I messed up. I said those. From the lexicon of deities of which you may believeth in, or not. The Great Spirit doth once shared. No, the Great, not doth once. The Great Spirits. I'm just trying to be hokey pokey and butchering it. Thanks for putting up with my rough and tumble show. Some viewer feedback said something about too much dead air, so I'm trying to sprinkle a little bit of music. Hopefully I got the mix right. Hopefully it's not too distracting from what I'm saying. I wish I had more moody environmental instrumentals. I gotta poke around and see if I can do anything to fix that. Because sometimes the discotheque robot music is too much. Lost track of what I was saying, but there you go, friends. I don't want to ramble on for too long. I thought we got a clock. Oh, 18 minutes and 36 seconds. We do have a clock now. Yay! Thank you, Streamlabs version 1.11.1. From me to you, friends, namaste. I see the light in ya, friends. Go be good human beings to each other. Not because of, you know, all the scary, fear-mongering, fear-based reasons of, you know, eternal punishment, but because it's the right, salty, friendly, healing, vibey shit to sprinkle everywhere. And because if we all can agree on one thing, whether we believe or don't believe, whether we done join one of the clubs or exited one of the clubs, it helps. It's good mojo. Whether you think it's biochemistry or the Great Spirit or Mother Earth's love or whatever, you know, and I say it with love and a little bit of wink wink and nudge nudge. Isn't it funny? There's 10,000 religions and 2 billion gods, and yet we all argue about it. And in some places we shoot each other about it, but they all tell us to be kind and nice and hopeful and giving and respectful. And, you know, some of them got some crazy rules too that we all kind of either ignore or take too far. And some people like me, and here's where I get real serious, folks. And if you're interested, the video game streaming is not where I'm at about this, but the podcast that I host, pardon the tiny little bump of self-promotion before we wrap up this show. I think it's going to be going on 6 years, if not already 7. I'll have to check to see if it tells me somewhere. But the 5.5 year long podcast I've been hosting forever and ever does delve into the cosmic, spiritual, metaphysical, experimental totally hypothetical thesis theory that there might be some sort of divinity, secular, and non-engaged in any of the idealized, ideological, dogmatic religions. No disparagement intended, but rather like that divine thing that makes you alive and everybody else alive and is the magic spark of the force within us all. Maybe it's sort of just not into organized religion so much, especially not the crazy go beat each other in the name of powwow wowie, this dude or that dude-ess. But I digress. Somewhere in there, it all tells you to go love each other. So let's go love each other and be good humans, and make art, and drive the wheels of economy in ways that aren't too toxic, that aren't too self-destructive, that aren't too dehumanizing, and to remember not to be jerks. And then when we fail, to own up, eat the grits, grin and bear it, and apologize, right? The fundamentals. Anyways, I'll stop preaching the preach. I know it might be weird. Some people get offended at this. But I believe in trying to sprinkle a little bit of that kind of thing into the vibe. The very, you don't have to, I don't have to get up and lecture, but I did because I think some people might not hear this often enough or at all. So if anyone is coming across this in the middle of June, this upcoming year, because they came across my video or they came across one of my channels where I stream this to, and they're like, "What's this character all about?" And they're like, "Oh, he did a holiday special thing a couple days after Christmas, blah blah blah." So I don't know who needs to hear this, but the magic juice, the magic sweet sauce, the magic sprinkle it everywhere meme power is really just in the heart and in the words and in the effort, right? Of catching yourself when you're stumbling and turning towards your dark side, and struggling up that rope climb, that eternal rope climb of trying to do better next time, and trying to think ahead, and trying to sprinkle a little bit of Mary. What's that? What's the line from that one of those that one famous traditional Christmas? And goodwill towards everyone. I adapted it because it says goodwill towards men, and it's a little bit of outdated way of phrasing it, but that's the calling, and that's the first step towards the magic that is whatever's out there, making the world go around. And we can, in theory, make the world a better place if we all give it a little try every now and then. Not just on the holidays, not just when we're in service on our Sunday best outfit, Although also those times, because group meditation is a powerful thing. For more on that, be sure to check out the Almost Daily Zencast. Warning! If you are new and you're curious and you're checking this video out and you're like, maybe I will go check out this guy's podcast. Where do I go check it out? It's free, and it is rough and tumble around the edges, and it is genuine, authentically me speaking, unscripted from the tip of my tongue and the cockles of my heart. And there are times where I could be wrong, and I'm not sure, and there are times when I do get it wrong, and I apologize if I catch myself in the middle of it or later on. And it is sometimes filled with opinions and thoughts and conclusions that I've come to on my own after a lifetime of pondering things, and that tends to trigger and or confuse people on either side of all directions of the political, ideological ecosphere of many, perspectives spectrum. So brace yourselves to be curiousified and tempted to think about deep thinky thoughts you may have never thought through before, but also maybe be like, whoa, what? But also realize I say it all with love and from the heart. And parts of it are indeed, hopefully clearly labeled, fiction. And other parts of it are just me rambling about stuff. All right, friends. Don't forget to spend a little time with family. Don't forget to spend a little time with yourself. A little self-care. A little bit of listening to music. Doing a little bit of prayer. Do a little bit of whatever your ritual is. A little bit of saging. A little bit of dancing around in the living room when no one's around with the volume turned up. Go out for a jog, greet the neighbors, pet the people's dogs, and remind each other if you can. If I can promote something to go viral in 2023, it's just this. Hey, good on ya. Let's all be good human beings to each other, right? Let's make something like that the catchphrase of next year. Is that too much? Is that crazy? Is that crazy? Too much to ask? And also, and maybe this, some people won't like any of this movie, but I just had the pleasure of very accidentally, like I made no effort, it just came on TV at the big family gathering for Christmas Eve. It's traditional that like in the TV room, the TV is just on, and people either turn up the volume because they really want to watch the thing, or they turn down the volume because no one's paying attention and everyone's having fun talking, right? And this year, the George C. Scott, and that is both a real actor's TV and film stage name, which maybe not his real name, and also, I think, a cultural catchphrase that went through some trending in various branches of the multiverse. Great W.C. George C. Scott. But the George C. Scott version of Christmas Carol. And I happen to randomly, not so randomly, be wearing a vintage, limited edition Charles Dickens Christmas Carol from a professional theatrical production of a award-winning, I hope I'm not misspeaking, Tony Award-winning regional theater, because I had the honor of, for a season or two, to be part of that production in its late stage phase, before going through renovation and a big shakeup and a whole new reconfiguration. And I look forward to maybe perhaps going to go see it one of these years. Although I still have time. I just don't know if I'm going to make it this year, but I might. But anyways, I had the pleasure, because this just came on, of introducing, and if you've never seen A Christmas Carol, A, maybe go get the book. Read the book. B, if you've never, ever seen it, start with either and brace yourself. Put on your This is Vintage Cinema Film classic film, time warp lenses and thinky caps, so you don't get all off-put by the subtle nuanced differences in pacing and style and film grain and audio techniques and special effects. But gather around, and if you're lucky enough to have access to a chimney, put on a nice warm fire, turn off the lights, watch A Christmas Carol. The George C. Scott, the Captain Picard version. There's several versions. You'll find one to your taste. The Muppets Christmas Carol is amazeballs. And if you're like gonna do this and you've got a bunch of little kids that sort of don't really love watching mildly serious stuff, then that's your go-to vehicle, especially if they're already Disney age, into the Disney thing, into the Muppets, and you've just never done it. Preaching. I'll get off my soapbox. That was an honest, genuine, unscripted, no one paid me endorsement. But for realsies, if you got like avid readers that are like kids, young people, teenagers, adults that love books, because this is a great thing. It's great reading and viewing. And the pinnacle, if you're ever near a really good theater that's regional, it's a professional level, regional, state by state, or a really enthusiastic amateur theater, and they do A Christmas Carol, and you've never seen it. Go for the Christmas joy spirit of it. I swear to you, even a rough and tumble, not so great version that I've gone to, and I don't mean to poke fun in it, with young, at schools for free, get me a little feelsies, because it's just a great piece, and as the postmodern, near dystopian, pre-apocalyptic memes remind us, if nothing else, in this day and age, Christmas, the true reason for the season is, we must remember that it is the time when millionaires and billionaires have to be visited by ego transforming and mind altering ghosts to be frightened and scared real into not being so greedy and hoarding all of their stuff and sharing with the rest of the world and giving to other people. But there you go, friends. Honest endorsement. Check it out. If you've already seen it and you've got a particular favorite, I gotta tell you, one of my favorite sort of, oh yeah, it's the holiday season's, half remembered, half-assed holiday ritual tradition is to put on or look up an alternate version that I haven't seen in a while. There's the really great comedy version, 80s, 90s. If you're an 80s, 90s, I think it's the 80s nostalgia buff, Scrooged, with a man who needs no introduction. Bill Murray is just gold in that. But yeah, man, a really great version of that, and a little bit of, if you're one of those, I need me a little bit of wine to really get into the movie, then do that. If you need a little bit of popcorn and some sugar, get into it. If you gotta smoke a little bit of wacky tobacco, do so in a safe way and without needing to drive later. Always, I guess that proviso goes with the alcohol too. Be safe, know the rules, and obviously, I'm not a bootlicker. When the rules are obsequious and wrong, then write strongly worded letters that don't invoke violence and vote and discuss things with your representatives. But make a new tradition. Check out. There's like a, how there's the MCU and the DCU and the universe of film. We haven't done it yet, but we should honor and expand and deepen. There's truly a Christmas Carol, Ebenezer Scrooge film cinematic universe out there already. And it's probably way too many studios and too many people have rights and it's too many different everywhere. But it'd be brilliant if someone did a deal somewhere. And so there was just like a great collection of all, because there's like animated and obviously the Grinch kind of, all the Grinch versions, including the great nostalgic animated classic version. But there's people out there that have never seen it, and there's people out there that maybe know it, think they've really paid attention, but haven't seen it on some really great wacky tobacco of the right balance that isn't knocking them out. Like, you don't want couch lock, deep slumber, hypnotic sleep wacky tobacco. You want like bright mind theater of the imagination wacky tobacco, the kind you can also go for a jog, and or do a little light cleaning and you're feeling spunky. Know your brand, not your brands. Know your varietals. That applies to, your adult beverage libations. Okay, friends, I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you so much. Bless you. I hope you had a great holiday season. My prayer and energy and blessings also go out for all those who are less fortunate, There's the intense weather in all directions on the great spinning mother globe, and those with not enough resources to endure tough climate, tough times, tough changes, tough weather, tough emotional adjustments. Let us take time to remember and honor all that, and when we can, to the best of our abilities, take action in our community, right? Grassroots action, organization action, opening our minds and learning about each other action, transcending our ideals and ideologies action, and always, always, always remember, you can't wave a lot of banners, a lot of intellectual blah, blah, blah banners if you're not questioning everything and returning to the golden rule, because it transcends and is in literally all religions. One of the things I often talk about during the holiday seasons in real life, out and about with acquaintances and longtime friends and on social media, is that the golden rule is in every religious text. Say no more, friends. And as one astute writer and academic of religious texts analysis tells us, in the ancient Aramaic, the golden rule exists and says, treat everyone else as if they were your own divine soul. Not just as you'd like to be treated, but as if they were your own cherished spirit. That's a tall order, friends. We don't even do that to ourselves, right? But that's, if there's one generic, denominational and easily translatable to the secular, the agnostic, and the atheist sort of takeaway, I humbly present to you, friends, I think it's that. I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, I apologize. And I hope it's not too crazy of me to jump on stream and share that with you and say that to you all as a sort of like, we call them holy days for a reason. And mind you, this is coming from someone that did their own lifelong comparative analysis. I'm going to try on the hat of, I'm going to teach myself about everybody's crazy religion. No offense, I say that with love and wink, wink, nudge, nudge, poke and jab at the ribs. Because you got to admit, there ain't no religious book that's free of the cuckoo crazy stuff. There's some cuckoo crazy stuff. And some of it might make sense under certain lenses, and some of it just flat out never makes sense to me at all. But if we look at it through a lens, not of proving one right and the rest wrong, but some people would argue this is a pointless exercise, but I honestly offer to you, friends, with all due respect and sincere love and in a genuine way, admiration for all the different faiths out there in the world and how they tip and how I know them to really be in hearth and home, right? In people's hearts, as opposed to in stories, in the news, and in the fear-mongering, and then the different stories that get thrown around, and the different accusational bits of content that get thrown around, and in all the stuff that tears us apart. And in the negative, in the bad apples out there. I know that deep down, we can all acknowledge that if you look in earnestness through all the things, we can find a transcendent through line, a translucent, glowing, pearly string of light that if you look from a broad enough lens and an open enough mind, connects all the dots that are worth connecting. And I'm picking my words wisely or specifically and mindfully. Connects all the golden dots that are already connected for our little tiny thinky thoughts, sentence building brains. And that we can, whether we choose not to believe in anything or we choose to believe in everything, the onists or the oneists and the dudists, to name two fantasy internet, comedy satire, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but they're also very real religions. I think they sprinkling a little, shouting a little truth and some mic drops out there with that information. That I think there's one meme that says specifically the onists or oneists can't buy into the idea that one religion exclusively has possession of the absolute truth, but can clearly see that there are many golden truths in every religion. Trust me, if you spent 35, 38, 39, 40 years of your life open-mindedly reading a little bit of everything, never taking anything so personally that you're willing to go crazy for it and objectify, vilify, dehumanize, and troll and bully and issue threats and violence against others, because that's the ego trap downside, right? If there's one lesson that we gotta learn as a species, go out there, discover the golden rule in your universe, under your framework, in all the other frameworks. There's a really great poster meme, which I have often reposted in social media over the years, that you can find out there in social media for yourself, that shows the golden rule in every religion. In fact, I'm pretty sure if you put into your favorite search engine, whichever that one may be, golden rule in every religion, poster, GIF, meme, you'll probably find it. And there it is. And then may that work its way into the seed pods of your heart and soul, my friends. All right, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to sit down and meditate. I'm going to get up and dance and wiggle and warm up. And then I'm going to sit down for my first end of the year 12 days of grindathon gaming special. It's going to be a roulette wheel variety style. So I'm going to be mixing it up. I'm going to do at least 1 or 2 alternate spin of the wheel video games for every episode. So even if I start out with Call of Duty over here, like I got over here, right? Even if I do that. And there's so much to talk about, and there's so much news for me to catch up on in my save pile of news from Call of Duty to make sure that I'm as well informed as I can be. And there's so many little interesting nuanced details. And friends, while I've been off stream, I have still been playing and grinding. And if I may just call a little attention to a humble brag, I've made it to Prestige 2. And now we're very gently working our way. Oh, it doesn't show me the... Oh, yeah, I'm at 107. Working our way towards the next big breakthrough prestige level of 150. Doubling that. I hope it doesn't take me all year. I don't know how much exponentially harder it gets, but I presume with each 50 level block, the XP requirement exponentially grows. So I don't know, but I see some people way up there already. And that's mind-blowing. Kudos to you gamers out there that have been gaming that strong. As always, friends, come on down and visit the old solo.to/Mr Zeppo. If you appreciate what we do, you can go check that out and tell us. And say hello and follow all the follows. Subscribe to all the subscribey bits. And yeah. I'll be back after a brief break. Like I was saying, a friend, a social media acquaintance gave me the advice to mix in a little bit of short form, a little bit more medium form. I meant to go for a shorter episode than this right now, but I guess 45 minutes and 45 seconds is going to have to do DJ Zed, play us out with a little electro-funk untitledfication. Thank you for all your viewership, whether you watch it live when you catch it, or after the fact, whether you're watching on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter. I think we're streaming to Twitter, right? Whether you're watching on Facebook live, whether you're watching, it gets distributed somewhere else. One other thing, Trovo's been giving me trouble. I gotta re-sign in. Thank you, gratitude, and I send you my holiday tidings, blessings, energy, vibe at you. Let me drop back onto the main cam. Boom. And yes, friends, as you might have guessed by the frame, this live stream is indeed a weed-friendly zone, which means just abide as I am. I am, by the way, a fully registered and licensed Latter-day Dudist preacher, or what do we call it? An ordained minister of the Latter-day Church of Dudism. So if you're money bags enough, hey, here for her friends, salutations, greetings, and namaste. Thank you for dropping in and saying hello. I'm just wrapping up this little greetings, holiday greetings. I was gonna do it at 45, but I kept rambling a little bit. And then I remembered that I am indeed literally a registered Dudist minister, and that I could officiate weddings. But I don't have like a budget to like travel, so you would have to like be planning a big high budget wedding. And I guess this is me promoting one of my side biz hustles. But if I could, and I'm gonna maybe write a movie about this, like inspired by the reality that I am. I'm gonna write a movie about, you know, a wannabe influencer Dudist wedding officiator that has a little bit of a budget and has got to deal with a local fancy schmancy sort of nature woodsy church somewhere, and then gets, you know, one of their videos goes a little viral of some wedding incident that's super cute that everyone signed off on, and then they get hired by, like, you know, some epically wealthy super couple of some kind of notoriety. Fictional, right? And then at the wedding, at some glorious, mind-bogglingly cinematic, film-worthy destination location, they get married and have a glorious holiday wedding mixed in with a little bit of, I don't know, maybe a little murder mystery, maybe a little bit of sci-fi surprise, maybe a little bit of spiritual shenanigans and dudism, Big Lebowski-esque, I meant to say esque, not Esquire, not X, as in, you know, post, but to be of the nature of Lebowski, you know, shenanigans and hijinks. There's a movie idea I gotta write down. Please, oh please, don't steal it. I've gotta clip this moment for myself. If I went Shift Command 7, oh no, I haven't set that up yet, but that's gonna be my command. Shift Command 7 is gonna be my command for Streamlabs auto clip. All right, this is supposed to be short and I went on forever. Thank you for listening. This stream is winding up. If you didn't have a good holidays, my heart goes out to you. I send you some love. I hope this cheered you up, knowing that someone out there believes in good energy, good faith between, good interfaith, will and charity, you know, and good old humanity. Let's make humans humanity again. If we're gonna do anything, right? Sorry, my nose is itching. Let's make human beings humane again. Let's make the human species humankind to each other again. And it takes, you know, every little baby step. You start at home, you start in your own mind, you start in your own heart. And yeah, go out there, stay in school, kids. If you're too young to drive, you're too young to be doing controlled substances that adults are allowed to do. Stay in school. But also, don't be a bootlicker. Don't be a statist. You can thread the needle, be a hybrid. I mean, if you want to be snarky about it, Buddha, Gandhi, Jesus, they had a couple things in common. They all, if you dig deep, advocated meditation and enlightenment, and were a little bit rebel, a little bit slow your roll. And they certainly were not violent, crazy violent. They were peace. Excuse me, I'm fighting off a terrible, horrible case of the hiccups. They were peace-loving, peace-inducing, abiding, healing magicians that were like, woo! We can do anything and be healing, thoughtful craziness. Oh, this one, I'm glad I'm double checking it. This one, the video game screen got a little whacked out. Let's go. Stretch the screen. Boom. There we go. I'm ready. I'll be back a little bit later today. Hopefully, I will force myself right now to switch gears and flip-flop the video cable around. If I had two Elgato HD 60 S Pluses instead of one, I could just switch between the two with a click of a different screen input setup, right? And I can be like, kapow! And then I can be like, kapow! This one's the iPad. And I can do my streams a little bit more efficiently. So let's hope and dream that we can do that in the not too distant future. For now, friends, we will be back again soon in the coming days and or weeks. I'm sorry. That's a exaggeration. I'll be back in the coming minutes and or hours to play some video games with you, for you, against you, and with you, and build community. And yeah. May peace, love, and grooviness blossom in your hearts. Stay strong. Times are tough, but everything can always get better. Hope is not a bullshit thing to cling on to, but rather a warm fire that you cultivate. And if you don't see it, you are the one carrying the spark. And if you aren't carrying the spark, you got to find it and cuddle up to it, let it warm you, and then add to it. That's my metaphor for the end of this stream. Peace out. DJ Zed, one last little bit of music to get us out of here. Check out my Wattpad page, which you can find on solo.to/Mr Zeppo. Actually been getting productive with it and recently added a few chapters to the many musical adventures of DJ Zed and Mr Zeppo, the official fanfiction action adventure sci-fi rough draft plotting pre-viz conceptual novel about the two artificial cybernetic robot mechanical life beings that host this stream. This show is now ending. Peace out.